Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report presented by Pepsi. We're now joined on the show by head softball coach Brittany Bennett. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, it's been a long time since we've gotten to talk to you, but I wanted to preview the upcoming season. But before we talk about that, let's quickly recap last season. Your team finished with a 22-24 record last year, and due to a late run of success, finished just a game back of securing a berth into the Peach Belt Conference tournament. What are some of the things that you remember the most about last season?
Well, last season was a lot of fun because it was my first year, and I think getting to know the girls was really what it was all about. But I think we did a lot of great things last year. We started out our season beating the #2 team in the country twice, and that always feels pretty good. And we started off really well in conference. But I had a lot of personal things that our girls achieved that some of the seniors that have moved on got to achieve in their time here that they hadn't achieved yet. And you know, we had a couple of home runs that were really legit timing, and we had some moments where we never thought they were going to have. We had a couple of grand slams, and those were first timers. And those moments are fun. You know, there's good and bad in every season that you have, no matter how successful or unsuccessful you are. And we're really just going to put down the things that we need to learn from, and we're going to take the stuff that's really good and try to plug it in our memory so that we can remember those moments when we're nervous in the future.
Well, you actually joined the UNCP Athletic Department family last summer, so last year was your first season as a collegiate head coach. What are some of the things that you learned about yourself last year as a first-year coach, and what are some of those things that you can apply to the successes of your program moving forward?
Well, I think you learn a ton. I don't think that anybody can go through their first season without marking down a whole lot of things that they need to get better at. And, you know, I think for me, it was just learning about some balances within myself. And I learned really quickly things I needed to get better at, and things I needed to teach a little bit better, and things I needed to hold the girls a little bit more responsible for. And even though it was a learning process, you know, I was really ready last year to give this thing a go at the head coaching. But what I learned the most is that I have to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more aggressive at times. I think sometimes I let the kids try to work out their own stuff, and I probably could have made some moves last year a little bit faster. And I also learned how to deviate some responsibilities a little bit better with our assistant coach, Kristen Hobbs, who's doing a great job this year. But overall, I mean, it's just experience that you try to take the best from, and you try to get better. And I think that we've gone to some things to try to get some more drills and some things that we can implement into practice to kind of execute what we're trying to do in the games.
Well, you returned 10 players off of last year's team, including a handful of starters. You added a plethora of newcomers in the offseason. What are some of the goals that your team has set for itself this year, and just how good can this year's team be?
Well, you know, we've set the goal to go to the conference tournament. I think that's going to always be a goal of ours, and that's not going to change until we make it. We need to make that conference tournament. You know, last year we started out 7-3 in our first 10 games, and then, you know, we had a lot of little things in games that banged us up a little bit, and I don't think it helped us. So the goal was, we learned from that, and we knew we were going to bring in a lot more new players to try to help with our depth and competition at practice. You know, the young kids coming in, they're going to do great things. You know, all 4 years that they have to grow here, they're already starting to shine. And I'm excited about how they're pushing some of our returners who have played here for a really long time. But, you know, the potential of our team is always high every single year. You know, I think we could play tomorrow, we would be ready. We'd be a little bit raw, but we could go at it. I think the potential is high. I think we're a good enough team to be in the conference tournament. I think that sometimes we're going to make a few mistakes that we wish we could take back, but I think the learning from that is going to really move this team forward.
Well, what have you been impressed with during the preseason so far, not just this month, the last couple of weeks that you've been working out, but also during the fall portion of your preseason work as well?
Big change, big change from last year to this year. I think when someone's sitting at your position every single day, it's going to push you, whether you like it or not. And I think that's the biggest change from last year. I think we're faster, and I think we're stronger, and I think we're smarter. You know, I think we're kind of talking about the season last year. You know, it's been a while since this team has had a chance to be playing at the end of the season to make it into the conference tournament. Every one of our last 4 games, if we would have won, we would have had a chance to go to the conference tournament. And I think this team is going to have to learn how to be in the box when it counts and when you have to get it done. So moving forward, we want to teach those young ones here in the fall, when they get strong and get faster, to get in their box and know how they got to get it done when it counts.
Now, you open up your season February 6th to the 8th, hosting the UNCP Invitation at LRA Field. What are some of the things that you're hoping to see from your team during that opening weekend regular season play? I
just want to see push and fight. As long as we can push through it and try to fight through it, it's a lot of games, and it's really fast, and it's usually colder. So I'm just looking to see what our team will do when we're down, and see what we can do when things are going well, and how we're going to handle adversity.
Well, thanks for being on the show today. We're going to take our next commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be talking to baseball head coach Paul O'Neill, so stay tuned.